The day Emily met Jason, she was running late for her shift at the downtown diner in Atlanta. The sky had that honey gold glow that only Georgia sunsets could give, and the air smelled of fried catfish and ambition. Jason was sitting by the window, a half-eaten plate of fries in front of him, hunched over a pile of books. He looked lost, not in thought, but in life. "Mind if I top that off for you?" Emily asked, her voice soft but warm, pouring him more coffee. He looked up, startled, and smiled. "Thanks, I'm just trying to study, you know? Nursing school's tougher than I thought." Emily laughed. "Nursing? You? You look more like a football player." "I used to be," he said, flashing a grin that could melt any woman's guard, but life had other plans. Something about his honesty disarmed her. Maybe it was the way he talked about struggle without shame, or the way his tired eyes still held dreams. That night, Jason waited until her shift was over. They walked for hours, talking about their pasts and their hopes. Emily, a college dropout forced to work double shifts to care for her younger sister, admired Jason's determination to rise above his circumstances. He, in turn, admired her loyalty and kindness. By the time they kissed under the flickering streetlight near Peachtree Avenue, Emily thought she'd finally met a man who understood her soul. What she didn't know was that love would soon demand a price, one she'd pay with everything she had. When Jason's tuition was due, he came to her looking broken. He said, voice low, "I don't know what I'm gonna do. My financial aid didn't come through. If I drop out now, I'll never get back in." Emily stared at him, then at her small paycheck. Rent was due in 2 days, her sister needed money for books, and her own dreams had been on pause for years. Still, she said, "How much do you need?" That night, she went without dinner. The next week, she pawned her late mother's gold necklace. Month after month, Emily covered his tuition, his rent, his books. She told herself it was love, and maybe it was, but deep down, it was more than that. She believed in Jason. He started calling her his angel, and she felt like one, wings made of sacrifice, flying towards someone else's dream. 3 years later, Jason's world had changed, and so had he. He graduated with honors, his name called proudly across the stage. Emily sat in the back row, clapping with tears streaming down her face. She'd ironed his graduation gown, paid for his cap and cords, even helped him write the speech he delivered to the cheering crowd. When he said, "To everyone who believed in me, especially the woman who stood by me when no one else did," Emily's heart swelled with pride. She thought they'd made it together. After graduation, Jason got a job offer in Chicago. A major hospital, great pay, new opportunities. He insisted that Emily come with him. "Baby, I'm nothing without you," he said, holding her hands. "Let's start fresh, new city, new life." Emily quit her job, packed her few belongings, and moved north. At first, things were perfect. Jason's career took off quickly. He was charming, smart, and hardworking. The hospital loved him, and so did everyone else. But soon, success started to change him. He began talking differently, walking differently. His southern drawl softened, his tone sharpened. He traded his thrift store suits for tailored ones, his favorite sneakers for Italian leather shoes. At dinner parties, surrounded by doctors and executives, he'd introduce Emily as, "My girl, Emily. Never my woman, never my fiancée." She noticed how his new colleagues looked at her. Her simple clothes, her diner job manners, her laughter that was too loud for their quiet sophistication. Jason noticed too. One night, as they were getting ready for a hospital gala, he looked at her dress, a soft pink gown she'd bought from a discount store, and sighed. Don't get me wrong," he said carefully. "You look beautiful, but maybe next time we can get you something a little more, classy." Emily froze. Classy? I mean, something that fits the crowd. You know these events. Everyone's polished. I just want you to fit in. She smiled faintly to hide the sting. Jason, I've been by your side when all you had was secondhand books and instant noodles. You didn't care how I dressed then. He looked away. People change, Em. You should too. That was the first crack. Over time, Jason started working late, too late. He'd come home smelling like expensive perfume, his phone always on silent. Emily tried to believe his excuses, but her gut told her otherwise. Then one evening, as she scrolled through social media, she froze. There he was, Jason, at a private rooftop event, his arm around a stunning woman in a diamond gown. The caption read, "Power Couple Goals, Dr. Jason and Monique shining again." Her hands trembled. When he got home that night, she showed him the picture. Who's she? He laughed it off. She's just a colleague. Don't be dramatic. But Emily had seen the truth in his eyes. The same eyes that once looked at her with love, now looked at her like she was a burden, a reminder of who he used to be. Days later, the confrontation came. He sat her down, voice calm but cold. "Em, I think we should take a break." Her chest tightened. "A break? After everything I've done for you?" He sighed, rubbing his temples. "You're amazing, okay? But we're just different now. I've grown, and I need someone who fits into my world. Someone more refined." "Refined?" she repeated, her voice trembling. "You mean someone classier than me?" He didn't answer. She stood, tears burning her eyes. "Jason, I paid your school fees. I starved so you could eat. I built you." He looked up at her, his expression unreadable. "And I'll always be grateful. But gratitude isn't love." Those words broke something inside her, but not beyond repair. Because that night, as Emily packed her things and walked out of his luxury apartment, something inside her shifted. Her tears dried before they hit the ground. He had no idea, but she wasn't walking away defeated. She was walking away transformed. Emily moved out of Jason's apartment with nothing but 2 suitcases, a few clothes, and her dignity. The city felt colder than she remembered. Each step she took down that busy Chicago street felt heavy, not from defeat, but from realization. She had given him everything. And in return, he'd given her a lesson she'd never forget. For the first few weeks, she crashed on her friend Lila's couch. Lila was a hairstylist, fiery and loud, with a heart as big as her laugh. When Emily told her everything, Lila threw down her comb and shouted, "Girl, you did what for him?" Emily managed a weak smile. "Love makes you blind." Lila snorted. "No, love don't make you blind. People just choose the wrong ones to see." That night, as Lila braided a customer's hair, Emily sat in the corner scrolling through her phone. Every post from Jason and his new girlfriend stung like salt on an open wound. Photos of charity events, luxury vacations, and dinner dates filled her feed. Dr. Jason and Monique, the perfect power couple. Her jaw clenched. But instead of crying, she took a deep breath and whispered to herself, "You built him, Em. You can build yourself, too." That was the last night she allowed herself to pity her past. Emily got a small job at a nearby bookstore, quiet, steady work that gave her time to think. She began taking online courses at night, business, finance, and digital marketing. The same determination that had helped Jason succeed now burned inside her. Within months, she started a small side business, custom accessories made from African prints, inspired by her heritage and her late mother's creativity. She called it Roots and Radiance. At first, she sold them online through social media. Orders were slow, but she stayed consistent. Her designs were bold, vibrant, and unapologetically Black, just like the woman she was becoming. Lila modeled for her. Friends spread the word. Slowly, her brand grew. By the end of the year, Roots and Radiance had a loyal customer base and a viral video that brought in thousands of new followers. One afternoon, as Emily packaged an order for a celebrity stylist, she smiled at her reflection in the mirror. She didn't see the broken girl Jason left behind. She saw power, grace sharpened by pain. And yet, deep inside, she knew her story with Jason wasn't finished. One evening, while scrolling through LinkedIn, Emily saw an announcement. Dr. Jason Walker, newly appointed Director of Urban Health Initiative, Chicago General Hospital. He looked proud in the photo, confident, untouchable. She stared at his face, her lips curling into a slow smile. Her business was growing fast, but she had one more thing to do. Not to destroy him, but to remind him of what he threw away. The best revenge, she decided, wasn't rage. It was success and power. So when an invitation came months later for a major health and wellness charity gala, the same one Jason would be attending as a guest speaker, Emily knew exactly what she had to do. She bought her ticket. She called Lila for help finding the perfect dress, and she made a silent promise to herself. This time, I won't walk in as the woman who built him. I'll walk in as the woman he'll never have again. The night of the gala arrived like destiny knocking at the door. Chicago glittered with city lights, and the air carried that crisp winter chill that whispered change. Emily stood before the mirror in Lila's apartment, unrecognizable even to herself. Gone was the simple, soft-spoken woman Jason had dismissed. In her place stood a queen. Her dress was a masterpiece, a deep emerald gown that shimmered against her skin, hugging every curve with elegance and authority. Her hair was pulled into a regal updo, adorned with golden pins shaped like leaves. When she stepped out, Lila gasped. "Girl, if revenge had a face, it would be you." Emily smiled. "Tonight's not about revenge," she said softly. "It's about reminding him who I've become." But deep down, she knew it was about revenge. Sweet, poetic justice. The gala was held at the Grand Crystal Hotel. Chandeliers glittering, champagne flowing, and the city's most powerful people gathered under one roof. Emily walked through the crowd, her head held high. Conversations paused as she passed. Eyes followed. She was radiant, confident, magnetic. Then she saw him. Jason. He stood near the stage, his tailored suit as sharp as his ego. Monique clung to his arm, dazzling in a silver gown. They looked like the perfect couple, until Jason's gaze met Emily's. For a moment, his confident smile faltered. His eyes widened, scanning her from head to toe in disbelief. "Emily?" he breathed when she approached, that familiar uncertainty creeping into his voice. She smiled politely. "Dr. Walker." The formality stung him like a slap. "You look amazing," he said, still trying to process what he was seeing. "Thank you," she replied, her voice smooth as silk. "I've been doing well. My business, Roots and Radiance, is sponsoring one of the youth empowerment tables tonight." Jason blinked. "Wait, that's your brand?" "Oh yes," she said with a faint smile. "It's grown quite a bit. We partner with organizations that support young Black women entrepreneurs." She didn't have to say more. The envy flickering in Monique's eyes said it all. Before Jason could respond, a man in a tuxedo walked up, tall, confident, with an aura of quiet success. "Em, they're ready for your speech," he said warmly, placing a gentle hand on her back. Jason froze. "Speech?" Emily turned to him, smile radiant. "Yes, I'm one of the keynote speakers tonight on self-reliance and empowerment." She walked away before he could speak again. When Emily took the stage, the room fell silent. The spotlight bathed her in gold. She began. "A few years ago, I believed love meant giving everything you have to someone else. But then I learned real love starts when you give that same energy to yourself." Her words flowed like honey, powerful and raw. She spoke about sacrifice, growth, and rediscovering her worth. About how pain can either break you or refine you into something unshakable. Jason couldn't move. Every sentence felt like a mirror reflecting his betrayal. When the crowd stood to applaud, he did too, though his hands trembled. After the speech, reporters and business executives crowded around Emily, praising her, taking pictures, exchanging contacts. Jason watched from across the room, pride and regret warring inside him. When she finally approached to leave, he caught her arm gently. "Em, listen," he began, his voice low, desperate. I didn't know you'd become this. You look incredible. I'm proud of you." She met his gaze, calm and poised. "I know you are." He swallowed hard. Maybe we could talk sometime, catch up." Emily smiled, but it wasn't the smile he once knew. It was the smile of a woman who had nothing left to prove. "Jason," she said softly, "I didn't come here for you. I came to thank the man who taught me never to depend on anyone else to see my worth." She slipped her hand from his and turned away, her diamond earrings catching the light like tiny stars. As she walked out of the ballroom, Lila waiting by the door, Jason stood frozen. For the first time in his life, the man who thought he had it all finally realized what he had lost. And this time, there was no second chance. Weeks passed after the gala, but Jason couldn't shake the image of Emily, radiant, confident, untouchable. Everywhere he went, people mentioned her name. At the hospital board meetings, "Dr. Walker, your ex-girlfriend gave one of the most inspiring speeches we've heard in years." At social gatherings, "Jason, you used to date her? Man, she's killing it." His pride, once unshakable, began to crumble piece by piece. Monique noticed too. "Why do you keep talking about her?" she snapped one night as they drove home. Jason sighed. "I'm not. People just keep bringing her up." Monique folded her arms. "Maybe because she's doing something that matters. You're just trying to impress everyone with your fancy suits." He turned sharply toward her. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means," Monique said coldly, "you built your whole image on being successful, but you forgot how to be human. Emily hasn't." Those words stung because they were true. Not long after, Monique left him too. Meanwhile, Emily's life soared. Her business, Roots and Radiance, became a household name, featured in lifestyle magazines, collaborations with major fashion influencers, even a feature on Good Morning America. She wasn't just selling accessories anymore. She was selling a story. The story of strength, resilience, and rediscovering self-worth. And people loved her for it. She launched a foundation, the Radiance Project, to fund scholarships for underprivileged girls pursuing education. The first scholarship was quietly named the Walker Grant, for those who built others before themselves. She never told Jason, but word got around. One afternoon, while attending a youth conference, Emily was asked to speak again. After her session, as the crowd dispersed, she noticed a familiar figure standing near the back of the hall. Jason. He looked tired, humbled, the sharp arrogance that once defined him, now replaced by something almost unfamiliar, regret. He waited until the crowd thinned, then walked up slowly. "Emily," he said quietly, "it's been a while." She gave a small smile. "It has. How have you been?" He chuckled dryly. "Not as good as you, clearly. I've seen what you've built. It's amazing." "Thank you," she said simply. There was a long silence. Then he finally said what he should have said years ago. "I was wrong, Em, about everything. You were always enough, more than enough. I just didn't see it." Emily looked at him for a long moment. She could see the sincerity in his eyes now, the kind that comes only after life humbles a man. "I know," she said softly, "but it's not about what you see anymore, Jason. It's about what I see, and I finally see myself." He nodded slowly, tears forming. "I just wanted you to know. I'm sorry." She smiled kindly, not bitterly. Apology accepted. But forgiveness isn't an invitation to return. We both found our paths. Yours taught me strength, and mine taught me peace." With that, she turned to greet a group of young women waiting for her, students from her foundation, all looking up to her like she was a hero. Jason watched her walk away, realizing that this time her back wasn't a symbol of loss, it was power. She wasn't the girl who once begged for his love. She was the woman he could never deserve again. That night, Emily sat by her apartment window, city lights glowing below. She thought of the past, the long nights, the pain, the sacrifices, and smiled. Jason had broken her heart, but he had also unlocked something greater, her potential. In the end, she realized revenge didn't have to be cruel. It just had to be just. And her justice was living well, happier, freer, and stronger than ever before. She whispered into the night, "Thank you for leaving, Jason, because losing you was how I found myself." Then she closed her laptop, ready for the next day's business meeting, her next victory. The city hummed below, a symphony of new beginnings. And Emily, once broken, now unstoppable, smiled, her heart finally at peace. Thank you all for watching till the end. I really want to hear your thoughts, so do well to drop them in the comments section below. Let me know what you learned from this story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our stories. Your support means a lot. See you in the next video.